Okay, everyone, we're going to try this pose. This is number 14 on the second module. So it's this beautiful woman, very elegant, dancer-like. So what do I notice? I notice that her weight is on her left leg. I notice that her right leg is really swinging down this way. I notice that her arm is coming out. So you see we've got the arm and the leg coming this way. So it makes sense to put the body over here. So, and if I put her head here, I'm thinking, I want to make sure that I have room. So there isn't a lot extending here. Her arm is down. So I'm thinking this would be a good spot. So I'm thinking of what size the head would be. Now, she has a lot of hair, so it'd be easy to get the head too big. So what I want to do is make sure that I don't draw the head too big. So I'm going to draw just a head shape. This is you want to draw a shape like this, not a circle. You're not going to draw a circle for the head. You want to draw some sort of skull shape. Sometimes I draw the ear because it helps me then to know that she's looking that way. And then the neck coming into the skull. Where's the shoulders? What's the angle of the shoulders? They're almost straight across. This one is slightly higher, but they're almost straight across. The shoulders in front of the neck. And I'm going to put this line in here just to remind myself. I like to get a feeling for who I'm drawing right away. So I like it to feel like a woman. I like it to feel like her hair, her sort of dancer hair, so that sort of keeps me on track. And her neck, and then I know that his arm's going to come out like this. So I'm just going to put just the slightest indication so I remember that. And then torso. So if I can draw the top of the torso here, if I can get this drawn as I'm drawing the angle of the shoulders, then I've drawn the top of the torso. So as I'm drawing the shoulders, I'm also drawing this whole next thing that I'm drawing. And then I figure out where is the hip. The hip is slightly farther out. Slightly farther out. So I can put a little mark there if I want to, so I know where I'm going. So the compression side, this is the compression side here. Compression side. And then I know that the hip is coming out like this. Her backbone is right here, so I know that she's twisted a little, so I'm getting more of her body this way. Otherwise, if she were straight on, this would be right in the middle, right? But this backbone's a little bit to this side, so I'm going to note that right now so I don't forget that. This is the stretch side, so this is the side that you want to make sure this is a nice stretch. Let it be a little less of curves here and there, than more of just a nice clean stretch. The compression, the interest side is here. So the side that has, more, it's going to have more of the folds, it's going to have more of the information is this side. So her hips now coming towards us. And again, I'm looking for where's the bottom of that hip, what's the shape of the hips. Sometimes if you almost draw like underwear, if you're doing a nude, and kind of like, and especially when you start drawing figures, like just kind of think, okay, where would the waistband be? How do these legs come up? Like kind of drawing like that helps you, again, to get these forms going. Now the center of her hips is going to follow the center of the backbone, right? Because that's the end of the backbone right here. So I've already got, so now I'm already down to her hips, and I'm doing a gesture here, so I'm looking for here I'm looking for the relationships. Get this relationship down. Make sure that I get this foot in the right place. The foot is right here. So I want to make sure that I get that planted in the right spot as I move through this. then the other foot, the other leg, coming this way. What's the relationship between these two? Make sure you get that. Where's that heel? I have to look. It's in line with the neck. So this heel is in line with the neck here. Plant it. Make sure you get it on the ground. And look for the direction of it. What's the direction of it? Get it on the ground, planted. That really helps you. You see how that helps then to get that relationship? So then you can come back up and you say, okay, the knee is here. I'm going to get this leg in here. I'm going to finish this leg before I move on. And you see how I don't have to draw everything. In fact, it gives her more motion if I don't. If I get her, if I leave some things out. So that's, a little more advanced, but when you start working, don't feel like you have to put every single thing in there. What you need is, I need to get these feet planted so I know where they are. I need this foot to be in relation to what's up here. I need this foot to be in relation to what's up here. I need the thrust here of the hip to be in relation to what's up here, what I've already drawn, hip here. So now I can come back and I can decide if I've, did I get that right? Am I a little, and I can correct it. I can come in and I can correct some of these lines. I can thin her down a little bit if I want to. I can, there's a nice curve here. I can get that in. I can look for the hip bone, which is going to be right about here. I can go down through that leg again. Did I get that right? Get that moving. She's coming out here. She has some flesh and musculature that's coming out here. This is here. Where is this in relation? Where is this in relation to her head? So it's right about here. If you drew a line down, it's right about here. So I get that little indentation right there and get that muscle so that I have a sense of, where I'm going. Now I know that the elbow, I don't know where I am here, right? I'm out here in space somewhere. I know that the elbow is right about at the waist. I know that if you move your elbow down to your waist, it's right about there. So if her arm here came down, her elbow would be right about here. So I know that if I measure into this, and she's a little compressed here, so I'm just going to make it a little bit longer. So here, so this elbow has to be right about here. So that's how I know where that is. And if I can get that elbow in the right place, I know that this part of the arm is just about the same as this. I can get that. What's the height of it? I don't know the height unless I put a line across. Visualize a line across. It's about parallel here. So this hand is here. So this then means that this arm has to come up here. So see how I'm measuring, but I'm not measuring in a real pedantic, boring kind of way. I'm measuring to get things going, to get things right, to get a figure that looks like a figure. And the more you do this, the faster you get at it. So that this part of your drawing is the easy part. This is where you get started. You get started on your drawing, and then you can move into it quite readily. And see, I've got line quality. See, I'm feeling my way through it. I'm drawing it directly, and I'm not ghosting it in. I'm not putting like a picture and a line and then going over it. I'm drawing. I'm actually drawing by observing, then coming back, and I've got all these beautiful lines now. I can come back and I can really zero in on something. I can really work something. I could put a whole lot of information into her face if I wanted to. I can decide where I want to focus. And I have now got the whole thing. It's like the scaffolding. I have the scaffolding. Now I can come in and I can work it. I can work on the costume. I can work on a certain part of the anatomy that I'm interested in. I can do the face. Whatever it is I'm interested in, I can come back. I've got my scaffolding. Now I can do you know, the windows and the interesting stuff. So you've got to get this down. This is your gesture. This is the beginning of your long pose. If you do a 20-minute pose, a 30-minute pose, a 50-minute pose, whatever it is you're doing, this is how you want to start. So you get get life into it. You want to get your gesture going, and then start building on something that has movement and life and some vigor to it.